Good morning, everybody. This is Hairymuppet, and this is a game called Rail Route, which is all about setting up a rail network, timetabling different trains, sending them out to different areas, making sure they all get there on time. And yes, what we are going to be doing today is something a little bit different. So if we go back to the map section, there's three different types of maps. There's the rush hour, which is kind of like building up a map over time with more and more trains coming in. Endless, which is more casual, and timetable. So this is, you have a set track and you have to get all the trains on time. You don't build anything, you're just switching signals the entire time. And it's very, very challenging. So, and the interesting thing is, when I was going through these, I got really stuck on Maradon and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And there was no guides on YouTube of anybody who had done it in 3 stars. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go through all of the different maps. I'm going to 3-star every single one, and you have to be perfect to 3-star every single one. And we're going to start with Wakefield, which is by far the easiest one. It's still got its tricky points, but it's the simplest one. Let's put it at that. So this is going to be the first map we'll be tackling, and it'll also be a tutorial. So let's get in there and let's have a go. So the very first thing you do when you start is you pause, which is also the space button. And then we're going to have a look around at the map and we're going to check out different things. Now, if you've never played Rail Route before, I'd suggest you play at least the tutorial, maybe some endless games. Get set up with these signals, figure out how these signals work, what clicking them does, that sort of thing. That's going to be pretty much assumed knowledge for these timetable playthroughs, excuse me. We're just going to be focusing mainly on the timetable mechanics. So first things first, we've got 4 different trains that we need to take care of in this map. Total trains up there, number 4. So we're going to click on the first one, and there's a few different things that you need to figure out, look for, but the 2 main things is, well, the first one is this. This means this is a crazy train, I like to call them. This means if it slows down or stops at a signal, you will lose points. So these trains are top priority to get where they need to go. There are, in other maps, there are other trains which don't have this signal, and you can stop them at signals all you want, and they will be happy to sit there and wait. As long as they get to the station on time, you can just make them wait wherever you want. The other thing is this guy. So when it says passing, that means it's not stopping at the station, it's going straight through. So usually it'll be something like 8:05 to 8:06. Or in the case of this train we're bringing in, it gets to Portsmouth 8:01, stops, and then leaves again at 8:02. So this guy, we can just whack straight there, and we can start the game up again. He'll move in, and then he'll stop. So these are the good trains because we don't have to worry about them. And you can see the list of trains has gone down from 4 to 3. So the next one is West Arnold at 8:03. So we don't have to worry about him for a while. Now, usually when I play a map, I used to like to put it on 3 times because it is a fairly slow game, but it's also a fairly complicated game. So, but yeah, normal time is very, very slow, but for this one, we're going to keep it at normal time, just in case. So you can see here, right underneath the train, Wakefield number 3 is the next station. You can also hover over it or click on it and see the total route. So you're going to need 2 minutes to get to Wakefield number 3. That's more than enough. So yeah, so I've already switched over. Boom, there we go. So yeah, now another thing that you can do, so we've got the basics, and you don't need more than just hovering over the trains, looking down here to see the routes. What you can also do is you can also click on the station heading just once, and it'll pop up this menu, and that kind of shows where the trains are going to be for every single platform. So stations have multiple platforms. So this train here, the first one into 3, we hover over it, we can see it's highlighted the train that's currently there. These are helpful sometimes. I don't use them that much, but later on in the game you can have trains that don't say Wakefield 3, they'll say Wakefield any platform, which means you can put them in any platform you want. And when you get some of those trains, it's helpful to pop up this menu and see which platforms are going to be empty in the next 5 minutes or so. So yeah, I'm going to pop this guy onto West Arnold 1, and he's going to wait a minute, and then he's going to go to 1, so we'll just route that over well in advance. Now, I would recommend that when you do anything, whether it's releasing a train onto a platform, switching a signal, setting up a route, you pause the game every single time. Just have your left thumb on the space bar, boom, hit it, boom, hit it again. And you just keep your thumb there, because sometimes you will have to pause very, very quickly. You get a little icon over on the side, and yeah, we're actually going to see that there. So I'll instantly pause it. Now you'll notice for the normal trains, they had a little 59-second timer to come onto the track. This is our passing train. It does not give you 59 seconds, it gives you 9 seconds. So if you're on like a faster speed, this thing will come very, very quickly. So we're going to put it on here, but this train is 120 and it's going to be going full speed and 120, and it's not going to slow down. And if it reaches this signal while it's still white, then you're going to lose points. So we're going to pause, and we're going to send it over to Wakefield 2, and now we're going to go. As you can see, full speed does not slow down. It will stop at Wakefield because it has to stop. But yeah, you may get trains later on that never stop. They go from one side of the map to the other. They're passing all the way, and you just got to make sure that they don't run into anything. So this one's set up. This one's going to Portsmill 2. This train will not reverse itself. It's currently pointing left. You right click on it and it'll reverse. You can right click on a train in transit as well. So we can right click on that. You see how it goes yellow. When it stops, it'll automatically reverse. Now we don't want this one to automatically reverse, so we'll right click it again, but yeah, when it's yellow, automatically reverses when it stops. So as I said, this map is very easy, but it does get a little bit tight sometimes. Like we had to pause it and really slow it down to get that train signal so it could get through. And there'll be another one of those sections later on in the map as well. It does get very tight. Like I think there's like 2 or 3 trains all going to West Arnold all at the same time. Yeah. So our last train. Well, they're all crazy trains, but it's not a passing train. So Portsmill number 1. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, one other thing I'll mention while we're going through this map is you can middle click and you get this menu. So this, if you turn this on, this auto accepts the train, so you don't have to click the little icon, and you can also click this to auto reverse. Now the auto reverse only works in stations which are only joined from one side, so like these terminating stations like West Arnold. It won't work. So you could click it on Wakefield and this train would not reverse even though it needs to. So I usually leave these turned off because yeah, I like the little icon that pops up. So I hear that little boop when you have a little thing. I immediately pause the game and it gives me a little bit of more time to prepare. If you auto accept, like we'll leave auto accept on, escape, and this one will automatically show up. And if you have auto accept on and there's a passing train coming in, it's just like boom, it's just there, and you're like, oh crap, I was not prepared for this. Now this one is stopping, so that one's fine, but yeah, I'd recommend leaving it off, and yeah, take it easy. So yeah, so we're going to reverse this guy because he's going left. This one is going to Wakefield number 3, and so we just need to switch this signal once this guy goes past. This one is fine. This one is going to have problems because this, you can't switch this signal while a train is in this section. So you'll see in a second, but the timing is going to be very tight. And usually I'd be on 3 times speed, but for this particular bit I'd slow down to 1 time speed because the timing is so tight and you don't want to miss it. But yeah, otherwise we've pretty much hit this map. You see every time a train reaches a station you get 10 points. If you slow down, or if one of these crazy trains slows down, or if you send it to the wrong station. For example, if I sent this to Wakefield 2, then you would lose points. If it's late to the station, you would lose points. I'm not going to demonstrate that because this is a perfect 100% guide for all maps, and yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and show you how to do it perfectly. Now, as you can see, 20 seconds on this train. So we're going to route this, but if we hit this, it says path occupied. Now, luckily this guy is passing West Arnold 1, it's not stopping. So this is passing 808, and this is getting the 809. So you can see this guy is going to start moving before the train's even off here. So there we go. That's how tight the timing is. If I hadn't clicked this before this reaches the end, then I'm losing points. Now, I'm going to speed this up a bit because we're pretty set. This guy's going off the map in 30 seconds, so we don't have to worry about him. This guy's going to Wakefield 3. So we're going to right click, make him yellow, because he needs to go to Portsmouth 2. And then all we do is switch that back over. And number 2. And there we go. And that's what I like to call the end state. So there's no other actions that need to be taken. Put this up to 25 speed and just let it go. Now this is the tutorial timetable map. So if you've seen these comments down the bottom, there is voiceovers. I turned them off because they would interrupt me. There's also pretty good music, which I've also turned off for purposes of this tutorial. But yeah, that's it. That is pretty much everything you need to know. There's obviously other things like auto signals versus the manual signals, which is all we had here. Auto signals make it a lot easier in some ways, but they can also, it's interesting. They can also do weird things which screw you up if you don't know how to use them properly. But regardless, this has been Wakefield, and this has been a tutorial for how to do timetable mode. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.